Okay, so in the last class, we had discussed about the temperature dependence of the rate of a chemical reaction, right? Temperature dependence of a rate of a reaction. So, anyone please tell me what is Arrhenius equation? Arrhenius equation. Nandana, can you tell me?
AE raised to minus EA by RT.
Okay, how can we determine this? Yes, how can we convert this Arrhenius rate equation at two different temperatures? Vidur, can you tell me the equation? Or how can we find out the value of rate constants if two different temperatures are given?
At temperature T1,
Hmm.
Ln
Yeah,
K,
just tell me the final equation, that's enough. All of you please switch
Ln
on your
K2
videos.
by K1 is equal to
Hmm.
EA by R
Hmm.
into 1 by T2 minus 1 by T1.
Okay,
So 1
then
by
we
T1 minus
convert it into log, right? What about that? Convert natural logarithm to base form. Log K2 by K1.
EA
Uh,
by
yeah, by
2.303 R
hmm.
into 1 by T1 minus T2.
Hmm. One more step, right? That is EA by 2.303 R into T2 minus T1 by T1 T2. Or you can use the equation suggested by Vidur. Both are right, no issues. Okay. Okay, children, then today we are moving to the last part of this chapter, that is the effect of catalyst. What do you mean by catalyst?
Um,
Yeah. Achut?
last portion I have done.
Which one?
Converting natural logarithm to base form.
Hmm.
How did we get it is similar to y equal to mx plus c?
Note in that equation, it's not similar. The equation ln K2 is equal to minus EA by RT2 plus ln A, right? Before that, sorry, ln K is equal to minus EA by RT plus ln A. It's similar to y equal to mx plus c. Just wait. Ln K is equal to minus EA by RT plus ln A. Ln K is y. Okay, y equal to m x plus c. Here this ln A, that is c. Then ln K, that is y. X is considered as 1 by t. Okay. Then m equal to minus EA by R. This is clear, Achut? Then using this we can plot like this. It is 1 by t here. It is ln K. Then the graph is like this. Okay, from this graph, the slope is obtained as minus EA by R. This y-intercept, it is ln A. This is clear now? Achud?
So, there is confusion like which equation we
Yeah, we are equating this one. Okay, this equation with the equation of straight line. ln K is equal to minus EA by RT plus ln A. Clear now? Okay. Okay, then tell me, what do you mean by catalyst? All of you, please switch on your videos. Yes, catalyst. Meenakshi, can you tell me? How can we define a catalyst? Yeah.
Which increases speed in a chemical reaction.
Very good. A substance which alters the rate of a chemical reaction without undergoing any chemical change, it is known as a catalyst. So we are going to learn how this catalyst can affect in a chemical reaction. Okay, so write down the heading, effect of catalyst. Effect of catalyst on rate of reaction. A catalyst is a substance which alters the rate of a reaction without itself undergoing any permanent chemical change. Okay, so that means after the chemical reaction, this catalyst can be obtained in its initial state itself. Okay, a catalyst is a substance which alters the rate of a chemical reaction without itself undergoing any permanent chemical change. For example, MnO2, manganese oxide, it catalyzes the following reaction so as to increase its rate considerably. So you have to consider this reaction 2KClO3. Okay, 2KClO3. In the presence of this catalyst manganese oxide, it decomposes to KCl and oxygen. Okay, KCl and oxygen. So this is an example for catalyzed altered chemical reaction. Okay, this one is known as potassium chloride. Potassium chloride. This potassium chloride, it is decomposed to potassium chloride and oxygen in the presence of catalyst MnO2. So the role of MnO2 to increase its rate considerably. And we have learned so many catalysts in the manufacture of this sulfuric acid, nitric acid, etc. Ammonia, Haber process, contact process. There are certain catalysts like iron, then vanadium pentoxide, etc. All these catalysts has the same role. It alters the rate of a chemical reaction. And if this substance which decreases the rate of a chemical reaction, if the substance, the same catalyst, it decreases the rate of a chemical reaction, we are using another word instead of catalyst. It is known as inhibitor. Okay, the term used, it is inhibitor. That means it slows down the rate of the reaction. Clear? Inhibitor. Substance decreases the rate of reaction. It also comes under catalyst, but instead of catalyst we are using this term inhibitor, the substance that decreases the rate of reaction. Okay, we usually use this catalyst as a substance used to increases the rate of reaction. In the case of inhibitor, that substance decreases the rate of a chemical reaction. So that's the effect of catalyst. This is clear, children? Yes. Then the action of catalyst. Okay, this action of catalyst can be explained by intermediate complex theory. We have learned that when the reactants change to products, before converting to products there is one stage, it is known as intermediate stage, right? It's a very short time period and it is finally converted to product. It's an unstable state. So this action of catalyst can be explained by this intermediate complex theory. So according to this theory, catalyst participates in a chemical reaction forming temporary bonds with the reactants, resulting in an intermediate complex. Okay, so if A stands for the reactant and if catalyst is here, the final product is B. Before converting into B, here it forms a temporary bond with this catalyst. Okay, then it is converted to the product B. So this action of catalyst can be explained by intermediate complex theory. According to this theory, catalyst participates in a chemical reaction forming temporary bonds with the reactants resulting in an intermediate complex. So here it is the intermediate complex. Do you remember the example of hydrogen iodide, HI? It splits up to hydrogen, the formation of hydrogen iodide, right? Hydrogen iodide, yes, formation. H2 plus I2 giving HI, 2HI. Do you remember that steps? Here, H2 and I2, they react together and an intermediate is formed. That means temporary bonds formed between these two, right? Similarly, here a temporary bond is formed between the reactant and catalyst. Okay, it's an intermediate state. That means it exists for a very short time and it's an unstable state. It finally converted to product. This has a transitory existence and decomposes to yield products and the catalyst. Here, along with this product, catalyst also obtained without undergoing any permanent chemical change. That's the difference between the catalyst with other substances. Catalyst, it's a substance that alters the rate of a chemical reaction without undergoing any permanent chemical change. So we can explain this action of catalyst using intermediate complex theory, and according to this theory, this catalyst participates in a chemical reaction forming temporary bonds with this reactants resulting in an intermediate complex. And this has a transitory existence. That means it exists for a very short time and decomposes to yield products and the catalyst. All of you, please switch on your videos. Anthony, can you please read the slide? Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Reaction of catalyst.
Yes. Any sound disturbance there? Gauri, can you please read?
The action of catalyst can be explained by intermediate complex theory.
Yeah.
According to this theory, catalyst participates in a chemical reaction, forming temporary bonds with the reactants, resulting in an intermediate complex.
Okay.
This has a transitory existence and decomposes to yield products and the catalyst.
Yes. Here small correction in the spelling of this catalyst. Okay. Okay, children. Shall I move to next one? Okay, next one is a graph. This graph we already plotted. Do you remember the reaction coordinate versus potential energy? But only one curve in the previous graph. So here this graph shows how this catalyst can be affected in a chemical reaction. Okay, so here there are two curves. The curve with bold line, it shows the reaction without catalyst. Okay, reaction without catalyst. And the dotted curve, it shows the reaction with catalyst. Clear? Here this reactants, it is converted to products. And the bold line shows the path of a chemical reaction without the presence of catalyst, and this dotted line shows the presence of catalyst in a chemical reaction. Clear? And you can clearly observe the energy change. Here, this only small amount of energy is required if catalyst is present in this reaction. Okay, that means small amount of activation energy is required. What's the definition of activation energy? Activation energy. Adul, can you tell me activation energy?
the energy required to create the activated complex.
Yes, the energy required to required for the formation of this activated complex, it is known as activation energy. So, in the case of this reaction, with the presence of catalyst, a small activation energy is required. Okay, the amount of activation energy is very less if catalyst is present in this reaction. That means the reaction will take place very faster. So you can draw this graph with reaction coordinate in the x-axis. That means how the path of this reactance is converted to products. Okay, then in the y-axis you can write potential energy. And you have to draw two curves, one with the presence of catalyst and another one without the presence of catalyst or without the catalyst. And you can also mark the activation energy. Energy of activation with the catalyst is lesser compared to the energy of activation without the catalyst. Okay, so from this graph, this catalyst provides an alternate pathway or reaction mechanism by reducing activation energy between the reactants and products, hence lowering the potential barrier. So it will be very easy for the reactants to convert it to products. Otherwise, more energy is needed to overcome this potential barrier, and it will be very difficult and it will take more time to convert this reactants to products. But due to the presence of this catalyst, it will create another pathway or another reaction mechanism by reducing the activation energy between the reactants and products, hence lowering the potential barrier. Have you completed, children?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you can complete it. Malavika, can you please read this point?
Catalyst provides an alternate pathway or reaction mechanism by reducing activation energy between reactants and products, hence lowering the potential barrier.
Yes. All of you please switch on your videos. Michael, Malavika, Lydia, Anna, Srihari, Muhammad Adim, Alvin. Finish, right? Yes. Then you can also copy these points. Lower the value of activation energy, faster will be the rate of a reaction. Okay. So here this catalyst can able to lower the value of activation energy, so the reaction will be very faster. A catalyst does not alter Gibbs energy. What do you mean by Gibbs energy? It's a free energy, okay? It does not change the Gibbs energy, it just lower only the activation energy. And one more thing, only this catalyst can only catalyzes spontaneous reactions. It cannot able to catalyze non-spontaneous reactions. Okay. This catalyst only catalyzes spontaneous reaction. And one more point, it helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. What do you mean by the equilibrium state? That means the rate of forward reaction and the rate of backward reaction, that will be equal, right? So it helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. It does not alter the rate of forward or either backward, but it helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. Or you can also write the rate of forward and backward reaction to the same extent. It's only in the case of reversible reactions. Okay. Because the forward and backward reaction take place only in reversible reaction. Right? So here this catalyst helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. It does not alter the rate of forward or backward reaction, but here it's alter the rate of forward and backward reaction to the same extent. That means it helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. One more point, catalyst does not alter the equilibrium constant. Does not alter the equilibrium constant. Okay, so these are the certain properties of this catalyst. Catalyst does not alter Gibbs energy, delta G, or it is otherwise known as free energy. Okay, a catalyst does not alter Gibbs energy or free energy, only catalyzes spontaneous reaction. It cannot able to alter the non-spontaneous reactions. Then the third point, it helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. That means the rate of forward and backward reaction to the same extent. Then the fourth point, that is catalyst does not alter the equilibrium constant. Okay, so these are certain properties of this catalyst. Vidar, can you repeat these points?
Lower the value of activation energy, faster will be the rate of reaction.
Yes.
A catalyst does not alter the Gibbs energy. It only catalyzes spontaneous reactions.
Yeah.
It helps in attaining the equilibrium faster. Catalyst does not alter the equilibrium constant.
Okay. Finished, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right? Then we are moving to this collision theory of chemical reactions. Write down the heading, collision theory. Collision theory of chemical reactions. This collision theory, it was developed by Max Strauss and William Lewis. Okay, it was developed by Max Strauss and William Lewis, and it is based on kinetic theory of gases. It is based on kinetic theory of gases. It was developed by Max Strauss and William Lewis. It was based on kinetic theory of gases. And according to this theory, the reactant molecules are assumed to be hard spheres. Okay? According to this theory, the reactant molecules, they are assumed to be hard spheres. And the reaction occurs only when the molecules collide with each other. So the reactants are considered to be spheres, and if collision take place between these reactants, it will be converted to products. According to this collision theory suggested by Max Schwartz and William Lewis, the reactant molecules, they are assumed to be hard spheres, and the reaction occurs when molecules collide with each other. Yeah, Chut?
Can you say after hard spheres?
You can write the same one. Reaction occurs when molecules collide with each other. Reaction occurs when molecules collide with each other. Okay. So this collision, it is considered as the one of the condition for this chemical reaction to take place. That's it. Reactants are considered as spheres, and if the spheres collide with each other, then the reaction will be take place. Okay. And one equation that was suggested by this collision theory, rate is equal to ZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. ZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. And this ZAB, it is known as collision frequency. Okay, collision frequency. The number of collisions per second per unit volume of the reaction mixture, it is known as collision frequency. Z, and as a subscript you can write AB. Okay, ZAB. The number of collisions per second per unit volume of the reaction mixture, it is known as collision frequency. Then e raised to minus EA by RT, that we already discussed, the fraction of molecules with energies equal to or greater than EA. EA is activation energy. Okay. Here this AB, we are considering this reaction. That's why we are taking this ZAB. Okay, A plus B giving Z or products. ZAB, it is known as collision frequency, the number of collisions per second per unit volume of the reaction mixture. In unit volume, in 1 second, how many collisions are take place? That's determined by this factor ZAB. ZAB, it is known as collision frequency. The number of collisions per second per unit volume of the reaction mixture, it is known as collision frequency. And e raised to minus EA by RT stands for the fraction of molecules with energy equal to or greater than EA. EA is activation energy. Can you tell me the Arrhenius equation now? Arrhenius equation. Yeah. Punya, can you tell me?
A is equal to A raised to minus EA by RT.
One more time.
K is equal
Yeah.
to A raised to minus EA by RT.
Yes. So we can equate this A with ZAB, right? We can compare both this exponential factor A and this collision frequency. So you can write here, comparing with Arrhenius equation, we can say that A is related to collision frequency. Comparing with, just wait. Comparing with Arrhenius equation, A is related to collision frequency. Okay. Shall I move to next one, children? Yes, right? Yes. Yes. Then we have learned that we are assuming this reactants as hard spheres, and if collision between these hard spheres take place, that means the reaction will take place, right? Then we are discussing about these collisions. The collisions in which molecules collide with sufficient kinetic energy, that is called threshold energy. What do you mean by threshold energy? That you have learned in photoelectric effect. Do you remember? Threshold energy. That's the minimum energy. Okay, minimum energy required for the process. In the case of photoelectric effect, the minimum energy required for an electron to eject, minimum energy required for the metal to eject electrons. So threshold energy means the minimum energy required for the reaction to take place. So the collisions in which molecules collide with sufficient kinetic energy called threshold energy, and proper orientation of reactant molecules. Okay. Proper orientation of reactant molecules leads to bond formation are called effective collisions. So only if effective collisions take place, the reaction will take place. So there are two conditions for this effective collision to take place. First one, it is sufficient kinetic energy called threshold energy is needed, and the second one, proper orientation of reactant molecules is needed. These two factors lead to bond formation. These are called effective collisions. Okay, these are called effective collisions. The collisions in which molecules collide with sufficient kinetic energy called threshold energy, and proper orientation of reactant molecules. If the molecules will not arrange in proper orientation, the proper collision does not take place. Okay. So two things needed, threshold energy or the sufficient kinetic energy, and the next one is proper orientation. Okay. So this is an example for such effective collision. CH3Br react with OH minus. Okay, in the first case, it is improper orientation. You look at the structure of this CH3Br. Is this image clear for you, children? If it is not clear, it's in your textbook, page number 118. Okay, this is the reaction. CH3Br plus OH minus gives CH3OH plus Br minus. Okay, look at the first one. In the first case, the arrangement of these atoms around this carbon. Here it is Br, right? Br. What's the charge of Br? Charge of Br. It's in the group 17. So it belongs to electronegative elements, right? In the periodic table, from left to right, electronegativity increases. So this bromine, it belongs to the group halogens. So it always shows negative charge. Okay, so it is Br minus ion. Here this OH, it is also a negative ion, right? So both are negative ions. So we have learned that like charges will repel each other, right? So here this Br minus is near to this OH minus ions. So both repel each other and there is no such attractive forces between them. So no products will be formed. It's based on the orientation of these atoms surrounding with this carbon. And look at the second case. Here this OH minus ions, they are placed along, or it is coming to contact with this carbon, right? What's the charge of carbon here? This plus charge, right? Delta plus. Delta stands for partial charge, okay? This sign is delta. Here this carbon, it is delta plus, and this OH minus comes into contact with this carbon. So they are opposite charges. So they will attract each other. It will leads to the formation of products. That's why here it is mentioned. Yeah, Achut, what's your doubt?
Can you say the page number? The text.
Page number 180. Okay. So in the first case, same charges comes into contact with each other. So they will repel each other and no products will be formed. In the second case, opposite charges comes into contact with each other. So it will form a bond between them and this Br minus ion will be removed from that reactant. And the product will be obtained as CH3OH. So these are the 2 points for the effective collisions. First one, there is sufficient kinetic energy called threshold energy is needed. And the second one is proper orientation of reactant molecules. Here you can write like charges repel each other. Here unlike charges attract each other. So the second one belongs to the proper orientation of molecules. Okay. Shall I move to next one? Manual finished? Okay, okay. Finish, right? Yes. Okay, this is just an image of this effective collision and ineffective collision. If they are oriented properly, products are formed. If ineffective collision take place due to improper orientation, no products will be formed. That means the reactant particles move apart without reaction. Okay. Yes. So by considering this orientation factor, we just rewrite this equation. Okay. We are just considering this orientation factor. Rate is equal to PZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. Okay. First we write this equation. Rate is equal to ZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. Now we are considering this orientation factor and the equation will becomes rate is equal to PZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. Okay, rate is equal to PZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. This P is known as steric factor or probability factor. P is known as steric factor or probability factor. So in collision theory, activation energy and proper orientation of the molecules together determine the criteria for an effective collision and hence the rate of a chemical reaction. Here the parameter of this activation energy already in this equation and we just included this steric factor or probability factor for considering this orientation of molecules. Okay, so in collision theory, activation energy and proper orientation of the molecules together determine the criteria for an effective collision and hence the rate of a chemical reaction. Is this clear now? So the final equation become rate equal to PZAB e raised to minus EA by RT. P stands for steric factor or probability factor. ZAB collision frequency, then e raised to minus EA by RT. It is the fraction of molecules having energy greater than or equal to activation energy. That's it. That's about collision theory of chemical reactions suggested by Max Strauss and William Lewis. This is clear, children? Have you finished? No, right? Achu? Okay. Then let me take your attendance along with this. Aditya, are you there? Aditya?
Present, ma'am.
Achut present. Alvin?
Present, ma'am.
Anna?
Present, ma'am.
Aryan?
Present, ma'am.
Ashwin?
Present, ma'am.
Adul? Dia?
Present, ma'am.
Yeah. Dia? Donna? Evelyn?
Present, ma'am.
Gayatri?
Present, ma'am.
Gauri?
Present, ma'am.
Emmanuel? Krishna?
Present, ma'am.
Lydia?
Ma'am.
Malavika?
Present, ma'am.
Meenakshi?
Present, ma'am.
Mehak?
Present, ma'am.
Michael? Muhammad Adim?
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Nandana?
Present, ma'am.
Nevin?
Present, ma'am.
Nidhi? Nidhi? Nia? Nia? Naurin?
Present, ma'am.
Punya?
Present, ma'am.
Rijas?
Present, ma'am.
Sania? Sharon? Shivani? Srihari?
Present, ma'am.
Steffi? Anthony? Vidur?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, children. So, we just concluded this chapter. Next day onwards, we can begin the new chapter because October, November onwards, you have term 1 examination. That's why we are just, yeah.
Complete writing.
Yeah, Chut?
I did not complete writing.
Okay. Okay, then I will send you the notes through the WhatsApp, okay? Including the questions from this chapter. Finish, right? Okay, children, then thank you all. See you in the next class. Bye. Thank you.